Hi there, welcome to another live annotated bibliography, this week centering on cognition and human development, specifically regarding technology and the impacts it has on children and adolescents. The journal article I chose is titled, Do Angry Birds Make for Angry Children? It is a meta-analysis using quantitative and qualitative studies that looks at the video game influences on children's and adolescents' aggression, mental health, prosocial behavior, and academic performance. So because of my aspirations with educational technologies, especially those that are grounded in game-based learning and gamification learning theories, this article was very applicable and engaging for me. The purpose of this mixed method study provides a meta-analysis of 101 unique research studies that explored the relationship between video game consumption and cognitive development factors in children. The focus was on finding the credible, non-biased research studies that connect to changes, both positive and negative, in aggression, academic performance, attention symptoms, as well as social tendencies. I was a big gamer as a kid, and still today in my adult years, I'm enthralled in games. Whether it's board games, digital leap pads with my kids, or physical active games outside. So the question of cognitive development and the progression or decline of mental health, it's very relevant to me, not only as a teacher of these crafts, but also as a parent who stands behind them. So do video games in fact impact adolescents and children is the overarching question, research question, throughout this study, looking to address misconceptions about violent and non-violent harm that children endure affecting their mental health and overall well-being. So the overall problem is surrounding the perspective. So out of the experimental, correlational, and longitudinal studies, moderated by selective gender and age groups, participation location, and possibly mediated by peer influences, previous mental health conditions, and possible prior involvement in family violence, these all produce similar results, showing that a minimal damage to children's well-being is in fact happening. So a problem with this area of research is the inconsistent manner in which data is compiled and the generalization and selective nature of the basis of findings. Basically, there's a lot of bias that are happening. So using this meta-analysis approach, the methods included the use of a comprehensive meta-analysis software program. It was fixed on finding negative or harmful results and randomly compiling these into different categories, using dozens of predetermined indicators such as aggress, vile, mental, and child. Issues that created validity concerns over the previous 5 years of studies, all of which dated back to 2012 forward, the studies and the correlation of the negative cognitive development, including the lack of the pre-testing happening, the little clinical evidence surrounding the increases in societal violence, as well as the disregard for positive results that disputed the controlled tests. So it seemed like there was just an ongoing issue with validity, biases, and then also conclusions that were really just unjustified in a non-scholarly way. So the reality is the results, they designed a study and they showed that they're in the minority. The well-designed studies, the studies that are really producing credible and valuable data, they're just in the minority. There's not enough of them at this point. There is a lot that are currently going through publication and pressing currently. And the conflicting findings during similar studies within the same time period prove that this topic needs more research. Suggestions that this research could use media effect studies, strengthening future claims through the gratification theory of communication from Sherrill, Lucas, Greenberg, and Locke, 2006, as well as the self-determination theory in psychology by Przybylski and Weinstein, 2014. Issues that are wanting to be dissected also with respect to academic performance, attention, and these social behaviors were inconclusive because of the terminology and the biased nature of the previous reports. So moving forward, by providing recommendations on how research should be conducted surrounding the relationship of video games and cognitive development, the hopes of increasing and broadening psychological communities and public health perspectives on this topic is the overall goal. I found that this research was extremely enlightening as it disputes what societal opinions and beliefs are today, and I plan to support it with other research that corroborate the findings moving into my final paper.